Hey there, friends. Happy Saturday to you. I hope that you are having a lovely Saturday, this first Saturday of spring that is not here yet. We'll just leave it at that. At least they took the snow out of the forecast. Yay! I hope you guys are having a wonderful Saturday. I have two new journals to put in the shop today. One is about kitty cats. One is about doggies. Let's start with the dog journal first. This was so much fun to put together, y'all. I love my dogs. They're both rescue dogs. Kronk came from the ASPCA. His papers say he's a Rhodesian Ridgeback, but we think he's maybe Rhodesian Ridgeback and Boxer. He looks like a Rhodesian Ridgeback, but he does not have the S curve along his spine, which is kind of indicative of Rhodesians. But he had been severely neglected, and we had only been in the house a few months, and Chris called me and he said, "What would you think if I brought a friend home?" And I was like, what kind of question is that? You know, what kind of friend? And he said, a four-legged friend. And I was like, oh, how can you say no to a four-legged friend? So he brought Kronk home and immediately left to go on tour. Now, I had never had a dog before. I hadn't had a dog since I was like 10 years old. You know, so it'd been a long time. And so here we are with this dog, and I don't know what to do with it. And I'm confused about the dog being here. But it did not take me long to totally acclimate to Mr. Kronk, and I do love, love, love that crazy old puppy now. He's not a puppy anymore. He'll be 12 in August, but he is a sweet, sweet companion, and I know that you guys have sweet companions as well. This little book starts off with a Dalmatian doggy and a sweet little bead strand that just kind of incorporates the colors of the fabric on the cover of the book. So let's take a look, and WOOF is kind of a bigger book. We've got 6 1/4 by 8 3/8, 2 1/4 on the spine, y'all. It does fit in an envelope, a priority mail envelope. So we are good to go with this as far as shipping. So let's take a look inside and see what we have here. I did not put you guys a story right here, a story card. If you want a story card, I'll be happy to send you one along. But I loved this graphic, and I'll show you why I love this paper. There is, when you flip to the back of the signature pocket, you can see a little girl sitting in a classroom with her little puppy. And I didn't want to disturb that. I thought it was just so pretty, just the way it was. But of course, you do have your little storybook right here. We're just jumping in with our dog stories. The Dalmatian, this was interesting, you guys. And just as I'm going through this book, I'll tell you about the Dalmatian dog is a loyal dog, and Dalmatians would run alongside horse-drawn carriages and protect the horses from anything that might spook them, which I thought was really interesting. I did not know how Dalmatians got to be firehouse dogs. So I looked that up, and because Dalmatians were very fierce protectors, they became firehouse dogs. Of course, fire trucks were actually fire wagons, and they were drawn by horses. So Dalmatians functioned as a way to warn the public that the firehouse door was opening and the horses were going to come out. And then they were also adopted by aristocrats because they just looked great tromping along the horse-drawn carriages, and it was like the more Dalmatians you had, the more affluent you were, which I just thought that was very, very interesting. And now they're kind of just, they're firehouse pets, but they do have a long history of protection, which I thought was very, very interesting. We have our Bluebird of Happiness here. I found some of this cool gold feather paper, and I knew you guys would just love this. Our bird element is about warblers. I know it's not fall. It feels like winter. It's supposed to be spring. I'm so confused. But here's some leaves for you. We have lots of pretty paper for you to play with, some things to color. Be thankful for today and spread joy everywhere you go. I have a pocket full of posies for you to play with. Those are so much fun, and I am going to have to devote some time to cutting some more posies. These are all hand-cut items from magazines. These are some mini ATC cards. Someone asked me what ATCs were. They're art trading cards, and they are cards that you make. They're about 2.5 by 3.5. And they are small art items, you know, small mixed media or collage items or things like that. Hold on a second and I'll grab mine. Okay, so these are some ATCs that I'm working on. You can tell it's about the size of a playing card. It may be the size of a playing card. I don't know. I wasn't allowed to play cards when I was a little girl. So I don't know. I think it's 2.5 by 3.5. This one says Captivating. This one is the hare from Alice in Wonderland with a clock. The stars are always shining. This is a Leanne star from Creative Freedom Paper. You should check her out. Another, now this is a mini ATC, so this will be the size that you're working with here. This says She Was Herself Again. So that gives you an idea of what an ATC is. And I just tell you, they're a lot of fun to play with because they aren't intimidating. You know, they're on a small scale. That's why I like them so much. If you've been following me for any time at all, you know that I'm terribly just scared to death of a canvas. You know, I can't even say the word. That's pretty funny, isn't it? Even though I've done a couple canvases, and I even have a fairy canvas in the shop for sale right now, I'm kind of just intimidated by that. But a small format like this is so doable, and I know you guys would really, really enjoy making them. When I was thinking about the Dalmatians running along the side of the fire wagons, the horse-drawn fire wagons, I thought about, you know, how and I've seen this in commercials and things like that, you know, the children riding home on the school bus and their doggy just sitting patiently and waiting for their master or mistress to come home. I just thought that was so sweet. So that's a little reminder of that. And as for numbers, we count them out loud. Numbers 1 through 10. That's all I know just now. And there's a little kitty and a little dog over here with this precious little boy. This is a frame for you to play with. This is a card. I thought all these colors worked really nicely together. Remember, guys, you can take a whole signature out of this book, drop it in your purse or bag, and take it as something to play with on a train or a plane or a car trip or while you're waiting on the bus or whatever. Just remember that you can remove an entire signature and then just put it back in again. I think that's a lot of fun because it's kind of like an art challenge. Like, this is how much stuff you have to play with. So it's like a portable art studio, right? You're just going to go see what you can do with just what you have. I love these weather vanes, y'all, and there's a doggy weather vane right here. I'll pull this out and show it to you. Look at that, isn't he cute? I love him. So we have a doggy weather vane. This was such a pretty photograph, just from a photography standpoint. But there are pull toys up here with little wheels on them of 2 doggies. Now, it does have horses on it as well. Very, very pretty. This is from the 1983 Country Living magazine. I cut this from a scrapbook magazine. I thought this was just so cute. We've got papers for you to play with. This is a chipboard D. There's a chipboard O, and there's a chipboard G in these little pockets right here. Lots of fun papers to do whatever you want to with. This is a great little story, and in this little story, I have a wood cutout of a little doggy right here that actually looks like a Dalmatian. I did not even catch that first time around. I have added a romantic inmate to my family, a large bloodhound, allowed to be the finest dog of the kind in Scotland, perfectly gentle, affectionate, good-natured, and the darling of all the children. He is between the deer greyhound and mastiff, with a shaggy mane like a lion, and always sits beside me at dinner, his head as high as the back of my chair, yet it will gratify you to know that a favorite cat keeps him in the greatest possible order, insists upon all rights of precedence, and scratches with impunity the nose of an animal who would make no bones of a wolf, and pulls down a red deer without fear or difficulty. I heard my friends set up some most piteous howls, and I assure you the noise was no joke, all occasioned by his fear of passing puss who had stationed himself on the stairs, and that is by Sir Walter Scott. When we brought our Mia home, Kronk had been with us for 5 years, and he did not know what to make of Mia. Now, Kronk was in the ASPCA because he did not play well with others. He could not be around children, he could not be around other cats, he could not be around other animals. So we were a bit worried when we brought Mia home, but we had no choice in bringing Mia home. She was abandoned by a hunter, and the hunter obviously cared nothing for her, and she was starving. She had no pads on her feet. She had chewed the pads off her feet, burned the pads off her feet. It looked like she had cigarettes put out on her nose. It was just the most horrendous thing I've ever seen. So we had no choice. We needed to bring Mia to a good, safe place. Well, Kronk at first was very antagonistic. At first he was antagonistic, then he was baffled, then he was really puzzled, then he was not top dog anymore, and now Mia is the boss, y'all. Mia's the little boss, and Mia weighs like 40 pounds, and Kronk weighs 80 pounds, but it's such a funny relationship that they have. She'll growl at him. She prances herself down in the floor when she wants the coveted spot beside Chris, which is to the left of Chris Gregg on the sofa. So it's really funny, you know, the way that she has kind of worked her way into the everyday life of our little household here. A grateful heart is a happy heart, and I've got a wooden heart right in here for you to play with. You might want to do some decoupage or something on this. Makes a good decoupage surface. This is odd, y'all, but I put a dog. I wanted to use this because there's a doggy right here. I realize it's a little weird. It's from a Graphic 45 School Days paper pack. U is for underwear, spotlessly clean, so change it often as if it were seen. Okay, we'll just leave it at that. This is a sweet little card. It says, by George. This is one of our vintage collections from the Nielsen family that dates between 1956 and 1965. By George, it's your birthday. Hope it's real, George. Happy birthday, Aunt Esther, 1965. The child in this family, his name was George. They have a Georgie, an Oscar, and a Harry Jr. is what I've kind of, discovered. I've uncovered, I guess, the children's names and the mom and dad's names and that kind of thing. This is from a kitty cat book, but it features dogs on the other side of it, and I'll show you that. I love that. I do not know what kind of dog that is, but he is absolutely beautiful. A little bit of a coffee element. These are from the 1962 Family Circle magazine. These are specialty desserts for him, and these are specialty desserts that the girls will love. A 1960 Audell's DIY kitchen book for you. This is a Heinz ketchup advertisement that I thought was super cool. I love this room because it looks cozy and it looks like a great place to snuggle your pet, especially your doggy. This is from Country Magazine. It's just a sweet little story that I thought you guys would enjoy. And there are some horses. Of course, we just talked about Dalmatians and how important they were to horses. This is from the J. Peterman catalog, a bit of flannel that has a bit of lace with it. I thought that was so cool. First seen on blankets at Tattersall's Horse Market in London. Old Tat around 1766, where the Duke of Kingston and the Prince of Wales auctioned off their horses. Didn't take long for the check pattern to find its way into other things, giving stripes, plaids, tartans, and ginghams a run for their money. I thought that was such an interesting story. I love that J. Peterman catalog. It is winding down, so I got to figure out how to get another one. Just a little bit of fabric for you, some pattern paper to play with, which makes a great decoupage material. And let's see, I was going to try and find the other side. Oh, yeah, I think this is a Hunt's advertisement. Oh, it's Del Monte ketchup, y'all. Del Monte ketchup advertisement from the 1962 Family Circle magazine. This is from our 1942 Red Cross nursing manual that talks about sanitation of the environment. I thought that went along, you know, nicely with food. And our 1960 kitchen from Audell's. Here we go with some doggy elements here. Another little sweet photo of a doggy that I clipped from a magazine. Y'all, this is an ATC kit. It has fabric in it, it has paper scraps in it, it has ATCs in here for you. It is a kit that you can pull out of this book and take wherever you want to. You know, you can stick it in your purse, stick it in your bag, and have a ready-to-go ATC kit. I like the idea of putting kits in these books because it gives you an immediate way to open the book and just start, you know, get cracking on making something creative. I love this because it says school subjects I enjoy the most. I think I enjoyed French. I enjoyed English. I enjoyed drafting. I did not enjoy history or biology. I loved art, of course. This says Z is the zone where safety doth lie. Stand quietly then while the autos whiz by. And there's a little puppy here, and he is waiting with his little girl to cross the street. We have a chipboard element for you. This is from the Vicar of Wakefield. I'm not going to take this out. But when you do take it out, there's a sweet, there's a doggy that is under this bench at this guy's feet. And it's just a sweet little illustration, I thought. Here we have a guard dog. For real, y'all. He's got his little baton. It's so cool. This is our language element for you. We've got a few Spanish words. You guys know how much I love text pages. The 1952 French dictionary, a little bit of German dictionary, some beautiful Chinese characters. I just think that's just... I love those colors. I don't know what it is about white and blue lately. You know, I've always been a red girl. I like the color red. The brighter, the better. But I don't know what it is about kind of turning a little bit older that I am gravitating toward blue. And I mean gravitating toward blue in a big way. This looks like my little Mia girl now that she's healthy. It was such a long recovery, y'all. It was 4 months before we heard her bark. 4 months. She, you know, I was just doing everything I could. I was staying up night and day to try and keep her alive, to try and keep her eating. She had worms. She didn't have any hair on her back. It was just the saddest thing. And who does not love Snoopy? I love Snoopy Dog. I grew up with Snoopy Dog. The very first gift that my daddy ever gave me was a wind-up plastic Snoopy Dog, and I still have it. Can't believe I still have that. had that for a long time. A pocket of things for you to play with right here. And we are to our very almost end pocket. I love this illustration because it is a doggy and he's giving a cat a box of catnip for Christmas. And you can see on the tree it says bones, a cake for little doggies, all kinds of fun things like that. Archaic papers for you, things like physical calendars, a timesheet. You remember when this was, I'm sorry y'all, I didn't get that in there quite good. Remember when this is the way that we kept books? You know, this is before QuickBooks, right? This is a sweet little section paper, section grid paper. We're uncertain about the calculations on it. We know that the grid paper is quite old, it's brittle, and it is discolored in a beautiful, beautiful, wonderful way. Vintage cards to Dad on Valentine's Day, and it's sweet because again we have the Dalmatian here. I wasn't quite realizing that. This is from Oscar to his papa, and I know that Kathy has drawn this. Kathy was Oscar's mom, and she drew a little dog, and it says Oscar right there. Just the little fella's name. So sweet. On your birthday, though, I might think and think and think the best that I could do is hope your day turns to be just half as swell as you. And this is signed Henry Nielsen, HSN, right there. These vintage cards are just crazy beautiful. A bit of the Nielsen ephemera from 1927. The back pocket back here has two things that I absolutely love. These are bridge tallies. Now this started out as a plain bridge tally, but someone has stuck this rose sticker on it. This was Gertrude's bridge tally. And this is Ruth's bridge tally. I love these items. I just think that I don't know what it is about seeing handwriting. It really speaks to me, and I love it so much. So there we go, you guys. A little doggy book. Mr. WOOF will be in the store a little bit later on this afternoon. Our next book is all about the kitty cat. Now, I have never had a pet cat. We have had stray cats that have stayed with us, oddly, but I've never owned a kitty cat. But I do kitty cat sit for my friends, and I love, love, love my Daisy. We lost our kit in July, but Daisy is such a pleasure, and honestly, since, you know, when Kit passed away, y'all, Daisy kind of came into her own. She has developed quite a personality. We start off with a little clipping from a magazine of a little boy hugging his kitty cat. Same thing here about the story card. I did not use the story card, but I replaced it with a sweet little picture of a kitty cat. This is a woodcut for you, and we've got a C for cat, and of course your storybook here. Your storybook is done in gold because cats think that they are royal creatures, and historically they are royal creatures. Our bird element is American goldfinch, and these are warblers. Guys, I did not know that there were so many warblers. This is from a bird book, you know, a bird plate, like they would have in libraries, a bird plate book. And there, I mean, it went on and on about warblers. So I think that that would be something interesting to find out about, since it's such a big family of birds. I just had no idea. Sweet little kitty cats, and they're just helping themselves to a little bit of tea or coffee. My dog did that for a while until we discovered that, no, indeed, it was not Tammy that was drinking Chris's coffee. It was Kronk in the morning, having himself a little cup of coffee. Believe it or not. I love the holidays, and I like to kind of do a holiday insert here for y'all because I think it shows the passage of time. You know, we've talked about journeys being journeys, journals being journeys. I love this little illustration. It's the Princess and the Pea, and I think she's just absolutely adorable. Look at her little mattresses here. Here is a package of stuff for you to play with, and I know that we're kind of sick of snow, but when you look at something like that, it sure is beautiful. So let's be jolly no matter what is happening out in the weather world. Love these cups, especially coffee. I would like to have a cup of coffee right now. I can't even look at it without wanting it. And it's not like Starbucks. That's not it. It's like, you know, right now it's Folgers, and I'm just digging on the Folgers. There's a little kitty cat on a cushion right here. I is for eyes, have good light when you read, and print not too fine, or glasses you'll need. Our red bird of happiness here. A beautiful horned owl. Owls fascinate me. A little kitty cat for you. If man could be crossed with cat, it would improve the man but deteriorate the cat. So says Mark Twain. A resist piece for you, which are always, I love these things because they're kind of surprises. M is for milk. You need to drink plenty, but not tea or coffee before you are 20. What's that all about? I remember drinking coffee from my granddaddy's saucer when I was 3 years old. He would, this is so cool, he would pour his coffee out into his coffee, from his coffee cup to his coffee saucer, and let it cool, and then he would drink from that coffee saucer. To me, it was just fascinating. You know, I was a little girl, and of course he would let me have a drink as well. This is a mouse, and you really can't talk about cats until you got to consider the mouse thing. Now, cats were not really domesticated for quite some time, not like doggies, but cats were kept in the barn, of course, to control vermin out there, which I thought was a very interesting thing. We have a neat Peter Newell illustration of the Cheshire Cat from Alice in Wonderland. Cats and doggies, they just bring love to our home. I love this little girl. She's kissing her little kitty cat. The Farmer's Almanac is an article from Function to Friend, How Pets Earned a Special Place in Our Hearts and Homes. It's a great article, y'all. I knew that you would enjoy it. This is an article about grafting. I think that reading about gardening things is just lots of fun, especially this time of year, you know, when everything is kind of in bloom, coming up through the ground. I can see it. The weather is not there yet, but you know, I love my Lenten rose. I can see my daffodils. I'm crazy about my wild violets and my dandelions. I don't do anything to kill anything in my yard. Don't do anything to kill dandelions. To me, they are absolutely beautiful. I love these astronomy pages from the Farmer's Almanac. They've always got a super cool illustration, y'all, and the paper is so thin that the illustrations would lend themselves really well to some decoupage or use in a mixed media project or anything like that. Very super cool. This is a poem about a kitty cat, about cats in general. A little something to color. Look at her. Is she not sweet with her little red? Look at her red hair and her red bow. Another little pocket of paper for you. I love this, and this was something that was very familiar as I was kind of curating the kitty cat stuff for this book. So many illustrations of cats and dogs, and I think this is 1792, I believe, was the year. This is from the Country Living magazine that we are so fond of. 1962 Family Circle. a luscious cape from the J. Peterman catalog that has a leopard lining in it. Thought that would be a nice nod to the kitty cats. We've got some pattern paper for you to play with. Sweet little kitties in a wooden box. A fabric element. You know, cats are known to cat around, right? They go exploring and then usually they come home at night. We had a cat when we lived in Columbia. It was the neighborhood cat, so you never really had to worry about it. If it did not find neighbor A at home, it went to neighbor B's house. If it did not find neighbor B at home, it went to neighbor C's house. I figured we were about C or D on the list. And so her name was Weesey, and she would come in and she would, like, well, I didn't find A and B at home, but you're it tonight, so where's my food? This is a sweet illustration of a kitty cat playing a guitar. Y'all, this is a beautiful story about a cat named Calvin, and it's by Charles Dudley Warner. I would read it to you, but I started reading it when I put it in the book, and I can't read it to you because it's so sweet and makes me think about my little Kit Kat who has gone over the Rainbow Bridge. We got some stickers here for you. More stickers here for you. I love those little puffy stickers. They kind of make me happy, you know, kind of make you think about being little. A sweet little illustration, again, of a red-haired boy. My sister has red hair, so any child with red hair, I gravitate to immediately. Plus, I remember the red-haired sister in Practical Magic, and that makes me think of course, of my sister. Here is a bag full of stuff for you to play with. Do you remember at the end of Alice in Wonderland when she figures out that maybe the White Queen was her white kitty cat? This is the page from Alice in Wonderland with a sweet little Peter Newell illustration. We have some text pages for you guys. The 1952 French dictionary, a German dictionary. Why is your pet fabulous? I can think of about 800 reasons why my pets are fabulous. I love them so much. They have brought so much to my life. I did not have pets like that when I was little. I mean, we had pets, but the whole pet ownership thing has really changed, hasn't it? You can't really think about kitty cats without thinking about witches and Halloween and how cats were the witches' familiars. There's plenty to read in here, you guys, about kitty cats and the kitty cat history. Little stories about kitty cats. It's just a fun book. This is, of course, a playing card for you to alter. Lots of words right here for you to play with. A 7 of spades. Is that what that is? See, I don't even know my suits. My mama should have really let me, she was Southern Baptist, so I did not learn to play cards. I can't even identify that. It's a clover. That's what it is. It's a 7 of clovers. This is a kitty cat chipboard piece for you. And this is a star because your kitty cat is a star. I love this little a beaver, and he's playing with a butterfly. I thought that was sweet. More kitty cat imagery for you, and of course, this is from a pack of trading cards. This is the Looney Tunes All-Stars. I see Sylvester the cat right there. What did Sylvester say? Sylvester the kitty cat. Oh, he had like a saying. I can't remember it now. This is from our vintage ephemera collection. To Mother, happy birthday. I love the way that these lend themselves to being colored. It says your son and another kitty cat, a Valentine from Mommy. Mommy, you're my Valentine, and here's a hug for you because you're so sweet and you're so good, and cause I love you too. And I believe that is Georgie trying to write his name. A really sweet card. What did Sylvester say? Saffron succotash. Wasn't that it? Saffron succotash. I think that's what he said. Another beautiful kitty cat illustration here for you. This kitty cat illustration looks all cozy in bed, and some posies for you to play with, some border strips right here. I should have these in the store later on this afternoon, y'all. They were such fun to put together. It just made me think about my doggies, my kitty cats, and what precious little souls they are. They are our furry children, y'all. Have a great day. Thank y'all so much. I love you bunches. Take care of yourselves. Bye.